You're a huge fan of seamen, Kyle? You might want to take another crack at that. People who sail or boating enthusiasts might make a little bit more sense, but I want to celebrate the way you went into that. It's important to talk about the things that you like. DarbyCast Wildcard Friday. Kyle and I were talking about things that we like because we criticize a lot on the DarbyCast. And occasionally it makes sense to pivot towards things that just make our hearts flutter, put some butterflies in our baskets, right, Kyle? One of those things, the ocean. But what's even better than the ocean, Kyle? The kind of people who enjoy the ocean. Very high ethics. They know how to relax. And couldn't we all use a little bit more relaxation in this sped up and tumultuous hellscape that we're all living through? You ever feel like you just deserve a leather jacket that has patches on it that say, I survived Fauci and his nonsense? Other patches as well, but that would be the biggest patch. Brown leather jacket. It's not a black leather jacket. A little bit of fluff. Sherpa lined, perhaps, Kyle? But I was just lost in the ocean. Not like shipwrecked marooned, but really enjoying the waves this morning. Kyle and I were walking my dog. And I turned to Kyle and I said, it's time for another guided meditation on the DarbyCast, because we've been doing a lot of time travel recently, but we don't want to neglect the present, right? And what that could feel like, right? We use all 5 of our senses with the guided meditation. This is not simply using our mind's eye. This is using our mind's nose and our mind's calloused hands, or dainty and delicate hands. If you're a lady listening to this, no problems there. But let's just jump right into it, because I had such imagery flooding my system as I gazed out on the rising sun. Before we start, though, if you're new here, get lost. Some people aren't going to be able to handle these levels of relaxation, and they've made rage and anxiety hallmarks of their personality and are unwilling to step into a salty whodunit with some really great people. So let's talk about who's going to be on this journey with us. First off, close your eyes and picture yourself in a marina, a really well put together marina. No sea lions mucking up this space. It's clean. Smells better than most marinas you've been to, which isn't saying a ton because some of those smell something fierce. Poop mixed with gasoline, seasoned with rotting seaweed. That smell exists at this marina as well, but it's not your main focus. Your main focus are your friends. Me, Kyle, Katrina, obviously. She's been a pretty major part of all of our journeys recently. Katrina's looking good today. Blue and white striped horizontally, but she can pull it off because she's in good shape. Jean shorts and a visor because she wants to get some sun on the hair, lighten it up a little bit, squeeze a little lemon juice on it. Let the natural highlighter of Mother Nature, the lemon, do what it's supposed to. Who else is there, Kyle? Fauci, in case a Jaws-like scenario happens and we've got to make a sacrifice to a pretty oversized shark. Chum the water with Fauci's tiny little body. Sure, Fauci's pipsqueak-sized body might not satiate the appetite of a ravenous shark, but it might buy us a little time if we throw him in. You, me, Kyle, Katrina, Fauci, and then 2 pretty exceptional guys. Some regulars at this marina. Terrence Bagwell goes by T-Bag, arms littered with melanoma. And then his friend and right-hand man, Teapot. T-Bag is Terrence Bagwell, but Teapot We don't know his last name, but we ask him, what's the backstory of your nickname, sir? And he says, my name is Tomas, and I like pot. And that's good enough for all of us. Tomas, very thick accent. English is not his first language, but relaxation is his main gear. We're going out on Bagwell's boat. bagwellsboat.com. What a treat. You ever been to a marina and notice how friendly some people are? You just walk around and beers are thrown in your direction. Full ones. They're tossed. They're not trying to hurt you. Let me get you a cold one, says a guy, right? Where the hell has that been in other walks of life? Why is that only marina style behavior? That's not right. That's what we're all thinking right now. So it's you, me, Kyle, Fauci, Teabag, and Teapot. And don't forget Katrina, who is looking great. Her jean shorts are not revealing underbutt. She used to wear shorts like that, but Kyle and Katrina are dating now in this guided meditation. And Kyle had some words with Katrina. He took her aside and he said, hey, Katrina, Kyle, you remember this? He said, hey, Katrina, I think you're great and I don't want to come off as selfish, but I treasure you and don't think I want to share all of your beauty with this world of ours. Would that be so inappropriate of me to suggest? And then what does Katrina say? Kyle,
I'm tired of the loads of semen that have been all over me lately. You're the only semen for me. I respect everything about you.
So both Kyle and his girlfriend are not making the best word choices, but they've got a strong relationship dynamic, and I think we can all appreciate that. But Katrina is wearing appropriate jean shorts. Talk about character growth out of Katrina. Fauci's wandering around trying to vaccinate marmots that live in the jetty, protecting the marina from the breakwater. None of us are excited about it. Teapot calls him out. He says, leave the marmots alone. Okay? Fuck you, dude. And we can't tell if Teapot is from Spain or Portugal, Uruguay, maybe, Kyle. But he's totally on point, and we need that. What's Teabag up to? The captain of the sailboat. That's right. Taking pop shots at seagulls with a BB gun while drinking a room temperature pint of whiskey. What an alpha. We all hate seagulls, right? They are no pelicans. Seagulls to pelicans is a lot like the WNBA to the NBA, in that a lot of people would be upset if pelicans disappeared, but if seagulls disappeared, nobody would put up a fight. But we're all having a good time on the lawn alongside the marina. We're all sitting around, Indian style, which I don't think's okay to say anymore. Cross-legged is what cowards say. We say Indian style. Kyle, does Indian style come from India, or is that a Native American thing? Does it matter? Is another question that I have. What time of day is it? That's what a lot of you are wondering. It's dawn. We're getting an early start. Temperature, about 67 degrees. No need for jackets. I've passed out coffees to everybody. Industry standard. No idiot bells and whistles. Fauci asked for whipped cream, and you slap him. You slap him so hard, and his glasses fall off. And then you pick up his glasses, put them back on his face, which is very emasculating. And then Katrina steps up and slaps the shit out of him, and his glasses fall again. But this time she doesn't take his glasses and put them back on his face. Off in the distance, we hear a foghorn, which is appropriate. There's a little fog out. We want to make sure this marina has no speed 2 cruise control style accidents where a cruise liner just absolutely plows into the whole thing, wrecks the marina completely. I don't have a ton of sailing skills, nor does Kyle. But we look over at you, and just by surveying your body language, we get the sense that you're no stranger to anything. Teabag's about halfway done with that pint of whiskey. And he says, board the fucking ship, guys. He's rough around the edges. But after all he's seen out at sea, nobody's going to call him out on his grizzled attitude. The fact of the matter is, we'd all probably be even more pissed than he is if we'd seen the same stuff. Pirates, Kyle? Just looking at him, you know he's seen sea creatures that he refuses to talk about. He's killed them, but he doesn't make a big deal about it either. Bless you, Kyle. Bless you. The sun's peeking over the horizon. Its warm rays of sunshine melting away all of our cares. Kyle starts giving Katrina a back rub, and then you take Kyle aside and you say, good job, Kyle. We were all thinking it. Kyle, did you ever work at Massage Envy? Because you could have fooled all of us. You are just Mozart tap dancing on the keys of the piano that is Katrina's body. And although most PDA is pretty off-putting to watch because the people are not attractive or sensually coordinated, Kyle, you are pulling it off. We all slap Fauci in the face a couple times for good measure. He's falling on the ground. We're slapping him, giving him a pink belly, slapping his tum-tum out of respect for the marmots that he was trying to abuse. He couldn't catch him. Marmots are very agile, and they can sense dirtbaggery when it's afoot. So they retreated into the rocky jetty. But Fauci really tried to hurt those things. And so this is just a little bit of marina justice, pink bellies. You give him a purple nurple at the end. Let's take a quick time out. How amazing is this guided meditation? We haven't even left the marina yet, and everything is beyond relaxed. But Teabag says, get on the fucking boat. And so we do. Even Fauci, who is bruising up in real time. Teapot, as you might imagine, is in fact smoking quite a bit of pot. But he's also readying the ship. As we were all enjoying each other's company, Teapot was blasting a J and hosing off the boat. Let's talk about this boat for a second. 33-footer. Fresh coat of paint. Sanded down expertly pre-paint job. It's not just paint on paint, right? Takes a lot of work to maintain a boat. And Teabag and Teapot are all in. You can't half-ass boat ownership. Or half-ass pints of whiskey and humongous J's. Well, you're getting it all done. If you're not relaxed when you're doing boat maintenance, it's when your hands lock up. You start making mistakes. Kyle. Some of you right now are wondering, where does Teabag live? In a beach house that he paid $45,000 for. Property is now worth $15 million. He refuses to sell. But we're all on the boat. Teabag has shot quite a few seagulls. All headshots with the BB gun. So impressive. To be that wasted and still have a steady aim. And he's shooting from the hip, Kyle. He has a scope on this BB gun rifle, but he's no scoping all these seagulls. Other boaters around are cheering for Teabag because he's been keeping this marina seagull free for the better part of a decade and feeding pelicans. Now, I don't know what pelicans eat, but I tell you who does. Terrence Bagwell. Pelicans are everywhere. Kyle starts to drift off and wonder what life would be like as a pelican. And now we're all thinking about it. To be so free and amazing. Katrina remarks,
Pelicans are everything. If I were a bird, I would be a pelican. They travel as a unit, and they aren't afraid of relaxing when the situation calls for it, just like us.
Kyle, your girlfriend is fucking incredible. I had my doubts about her, but now I'm getting a little bit jealous. Teabag and Teapot are eyeing Katrina pretty hard, and boy, do you shut that down pretty quick, Kyle. You say, at ease, gentlemen, at ease. Both these guys have Navy backgrounds and also realize how good of a guy you are. And so they stop ogling Katrina's rockin' body. Way to step up and protect your gal, Kyle. So much growth has happened in you, through you, to Katrina, but I can also tell that she is inspiring you to step up. And boy, don't we all like that when two people come together and become more than just the sum of their parts. You help Teapot with the lines, and we're pulling a little reverse action out of the harbor. 33-foot sailboat. We're using the onboard motor. Not going to pop the sails up like a bunch of amateurs. And we go a nice, slow speed through the marina out of respect for the other boaters. It makes us all think of a John Wooden quote, doesn't it, Kyle? Be quick, but don't hurry. We would love to rip out of that marina at a bottlenose dolphin's pace. But we don't. We just don't. We navigate into the breakwater, and then we ask Dr. Bagwell. We find out he's got a PhD, double PhD, actually. And what are those double doctorates? PhD in business, whodunit, and another PhD in pleasure, business and pleasure. He's on top of it. He wouldn't have even had to tell us that he had those degrees for us to understand what he was about academically. The relationship between business and pleasure, the union. Normally, Bagwell's going to charge you to go out on his boat, but today, what's his payment? That's right, punching Fauci in the stomach. Teabag doesn't have a television or a cell phone. Tell you what he does have, though, is an AM radio. And he heard about Fauci. He knows how bad of a dude Fauci is. He said, I will take you out on this boat. We'll go have some fun. We'll chill the hell out. But I want your word that I can mess this guy up a little bit. Easy sale, right? In more ways than one. Bill of sale, sailing. EasySail.com. So Fauci is a bit of a prisoner on this boat now. But the way he held the country hostage, with the help of quite a few other people, but there's no way that he could convince us to set him free. After all he's done. The wind is blowing your hair in a way that's really dynamic. The only thing more dynamic than the wind through your hair is the feeling of camaraderie that we all have aboard this beautiful vessel. Remember, fresh coat of paint. Kyle. Teapot's on like his 6th J of the day. You strike up a conversation with him. You say, Teapot, what's your story? And what does he say? My main passion is taxidermy. I am a taxidermy artist. I like to find carcasses of whales and stuff them and make them look realistic. It's not an easy job for me, but it is where my heart lies. Absolutely incredible. He's got his day job working with Teabag, and then at night, he sets his mind free and stuffs beached whale carcasses. You get a little vulnerable with Teapot. You say, I don't want to come off as weird, but like I admire you a lot. And what does he say to that? He says, okay. What a great example of a guy who knows how to take a compliment. He doesn't try to one-up you and say, oh, I admire you a lot too. He just lets it sink in. He allows himself to feel it. He averts his gaze off into the horizon, and you know he's just thinking about porpoises and how he could find a dead one, then maybe sell it to an aquarium. I don't know how much you can make in a year as a taxidermy pro, but we all get the sense that Teapot's doing pretty well for himself, easily clearing 6 figures. He's had a 7-figure year, but he would never brag about it. Pretty advanced boat, by the way. Mainsail is hoisted by pressing a button. So's the jib. Katrina cracks out a Bluetooth speaker, plays some 1980s soft rock. Eddie Money, 2 Tickets to Paradise. Kyle, put a ring on her, okay? Open and shut case. You're not all the way sold on Katrina's music choice, and that's fair to be skeptical. You don't know Katrina that well, but she follows up 2 Tickets to Paradise with what? That's right, The Boys of Summer by Don Henley. Totally cementing her reputation as an amazing chick. Sure, she had a weird past. She was getting pumped in porta-johns at music festivals. And there's a part of Kyle that wonders what her body count actually is. But if a chick knows Don Henley, you can let that slide, Kyle. Maybe. I don't know. That would upset me if I knew my chick was firmly in double digits, triple digits even. Kyle, we don't know, right? Nobody's perfect, though, Kyle. Nobody's perfect. Katrina pivots and plays the song Gloria by Laura Branigan. Jacks the energy up a little bit without rocking the boat too much in a musical sense. It plays. I'm telling you, Kyle, go to Kay Jewelers. Don't get rose gold colored anything. They'll try to sell you on rose gold something. Chicks hate that. Never get a chick anything that's colored rose gold. That'll ruin the whole relationship. I don't want that for you, Kyle. You, the listener, you don't want that for Kyle either, I would imagine. It's midday. Teabag cracks out a picnic basket with the red and white dish towel-like material spilling out in a way that's symmetrical. It's like the perfect picnic basket. And what's inside? That's right, tuna sandwiches on sourdough, toasted bread. Bags of Fritos, not just original flavor, but chili cheese as well. And what else? You guessed it. Snapples. Snapples in glass bottles. We all crack our Snapples open and we read each other the fun facts. How could this day get any better, right? You wander below deck, notice some fishing poles, and because you have so much respect for Dr. Bagwell, you ask him, mind if we cast these lines out, Bagwell? And you're taking a risk in just calling him his last name. But he loves it. We all throw our heads back. We laugh a little bit. Katrina's hair is getting really blonde with the lemon juice. Her laugh is just contagious. She's really elevating the space. But we respect Kyle so much that we keep it really appropriate. We don't say, Kyle, your girl's looking pretty hot. We say, wow, she is looking amazing and elegant. She takes a bite of her tuna sandwich that's a little too big and she chokes a little bit. But you step up and give her the Heimlich real quick. Doesn't even last for a long time. You're very efficient with the Heimlich. And now all of us are quite a bit closer. Kyle, you should have stepped up and been on Heimlich job with your chick, but like, what's done is done, right? It's so amazing that you were just thinking about fishing and then you went into medical heroics, right? You go back to retrieve 3 fishing rods, one for me, one for you, and one for Teapot, who is just high as a kite right now. And we catch some bluefin tuna. What does Teapot say when he hauls in a 200-pounder? You can't spell functional strength without fun and strength. Teapot is such a good dude. How does Teapot keep showing up, elevating the entire experience? That's what we're all wondering. Another thing we're wondering, what's Fauci up to? I failed to mention that in the beginning of the trip, Dr. Bagwell threw him in an animal crate for medium-sized dogs, and he didn't even fill the whole thing up. An adult would need an XL-sized crate, but Fauci can't even fill up a medium. He's just in a dog crate, and he can't get out. We all go down in the cabin to slap the crate and rattle it around, and boo Fauci. We're all like, boo. You step up, and you're just smacking the shit out of the crate. Fauci is having an objectively terrible time, and we're having a good time. The diametric opposite of the time that he's having. He's having the worst time of his life, and we are having the best time of our life. But then, all of a sudden, the Coast Guard shows up. And we respect the Coast Guard. They are heroes. We all head up to the deck. Coast Guard boat is on our starboard. Remember, we're nautical. And they say, hey, how's it going? Fair question, right? We say, oh, it's pretty good, pretty good. But then Fauci starts wailing. The Coast Guard hears, I'm being held prisoner. Coast Guard, they'll pull out guns. And they say, what's going on here? Captain Bagwell says, this doesn't concern you guys at all. We're just trying to chill. And then Bagwell unhurriedly opens up a sleeve of saltine crackers. Doesn't even pull it out of a box. He just has a sleeve of saltines, starts munching them while maintaining unbroken eye contact with the Coast Guard captain. Pretty tense moment, if we're being honest with each other. Then Captain Bagwell, teabag, takes out a fifth of Jack Daniels, drinks about half of it, all while maintaining eye contact. Total leader. But the Coast Guard, over a megaphone, one of the guys says, we can't let this slide. We're going to board your ship. But then what happens? That's right. A squadron of pelicans shows up. They start circling overhead. And then they dive bomb the Coast Guard guys and knock them into the water. There's about 8 Coast Guard guys on this Coast Guard boat. And 7 of them make the decision, we're not going to pursue this. There's a rookie, though. None of the other Coast Guard guys like him. Total dipshit. He takes it upon himself to go Rambo mode. He was knocked into the water by a pelican, and he swims over to our sailboat. He climbs the little ladder on the stern of the boat, and he boards, draws out a pistol. All of us are armed. We just haven't drawn our weapons yet. Big Second Amendment people, that's who we are. Captain Bagwell is just munching on these saltines, washing it down with more Jack Daniels. Enough alcohol to kill most people. But this isn't his first time catching a buzz. He just says, get the hell off my boat. Makes us all think about that Harrison Ford movie, Air Force One. Get the hell off my plane. Kyle, the movie The Fugitive with Harrison Ford was also pretty good. I just want to call that out. Coast Guard Rambo, though. You try to take a diplomatic approach and you say, young man, what's your name? He's older than you are, and you just called him young man. Pretty disrespectful, but also tasteful. And he says, my name's Ethan. And we all start laughing hysterically. What a loser, right? But we know some shit's about to go down. This guy's way too gung-ho. He's not going to back down. The Coast Guard ship with the other 7 guys, they have taken off. They have left Ethan on board our ship. Such an attitude that screams whatever happens, happens. Pretty cool guys. You're on high alert and you're wondering if you're going to have to step up, but right as you are about to pull out a revolver and unload into Ethan's chest, what happens? Teapot karate chops Ethan in the calf, which as far as I understand is not a standard move. Then Teabag rips out a flare gun and shoots Ethan in the face. Ethan's dead. And then you take Ethan's lifeless body and you just throw it into the ocean. But you don't stop there. You go take the Fauci cage with Fauci in it, quite obviously, and you throw that overboard as well. And then a bunch of tiger sharks show up. And Fauci's cage diving, which we would all say sounds pretty exhilarating. Not in this configuration, though, right? Where you're trapped in a cage, you don't have an air supply. But the tiger sharks all take care of the evidence. Katrina starts making out with Kyle, and it's not sloppy and out of control. It's just like a kiss that we could all appreciate. And then what happens? She pulls out her cell phone and plays the best song of the day. And what song is that, Kyle? We all have the same question right now. Are we in heaven? Because Katrina is an angel. And what does she say when the song's done?
I don't want to be too presumptuous here, but would you guys be comfortable having Christopher Cross's song Sailing be our song? Beyond that, though, I just want to say this day is perfect, and so are you, Kyle. You're a big guy, and I love how much weight you put up on bench press. You don't skip leg day, though, and I find that so diesel and erotic.
I am telling you, Kyle, do not fuck this up. They don't make them like this. Who knew that Katrina had such poetry in her? That just goes to show you that when you're linked up with the right person, boy, is your spirit set ablaze, and boy, can it soar. Not unlike a squadron of pelicans. Do pelicans mate for life, Kyle? That's what we're all wondering. Boy, are we all wondering that. And this day can't get any better, can it? Check that. Yes, it can. Teapot, Tomas, surprises us all with a homemade flan. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. We head back to the marina. It's been a full day. It's sunset now. Bagwell has had a little too much to drink, though. And docking this puppy is not going to be easy. But then you, carefully observing all things Bagwell for the entire day, you say, I got this one, Terry. So bold to call him by his first name. But we're all pretty good friends at this point. And that is something sailing can do. Bring people together. You say, Terry, would you mind if I park this puppy? And he allows it. You hit that button, you bring the sails down. We're entering the harbor. You take it down to a respectful speed, switch over to the motor, and boy, do you just dock that ship as if you'd been sailing since you were 3 years old. What an experience, right? And we don't know how to properly thank Teabag and Teapot for a day this amazing. And we ask them, you ask them, actually, as a leader. You say, Teapot, is there anything I could get you? I just feel so indebted to you for helping us chill out so hard. And what does Teapot say? He says, I don't know, maybe invite me to your birthday this coming year. Simple request, right? We all give Teabag, Terrence Bagwell, we all give him business handshakes. But he slaps our hands away and just gives us hugs. He's got a little bit of the ocean welling up in his eyes. What are those? Tears. For how amazing Terrence Bagwell is. He's a little lonely sometimes. Teapot's always doing the taxidermy thing. And he needed this as much as anyone. We thought this day was about us, but it was actually more about Teabag than anybody. How amazing is that? Send this to somebody today who needs a boost to their chill vibes. Send this to somebody who's already pretty relaxed. See if you can send him a couple floors deeper. Or maybe you just listen to this again. Analyze it for academic messages, of which there are plenty. You might have missed them because I wove them into the tapestry of the story in a way that was so smooth. It was like a glassy day out at the marina. The storytelling. That's a glassy marina of a story. That's what many of us have thought. I see that look in your eyes, Kyle. I hope you have an incredible day. Hope you're enjoying all the other content that Kyle and I are making. TikTok, Twitter, Kyle. Dunking all over people. It's really easy. People don't know how to write or think. So that's kind of a layup these days. If you so choose, subscribe to the TikTok lives or donate to the cause. In the description, there is a link. And if you would like to continue hearing amazing stories, guided meditations, check that. Like this, I would love your support. So would Kyle. That's DarbyCast. That's Wildcard Friday.